let's start off in South Africa, where the energy regulator, NERSA, has granted Eskom an 18.65% tariff increase for the 2022 or 2023-2024 financial year. This will kick in from April this year for Eskom's direct customers. There's been reactions, of course, following this. We have Matt Kindiga now, who just spent some time in South Africa with his relative there, back in London now. But it's good to have first-hand information from Matt. Hi, Matt. Happy New Year. This is the first time we're having you on this show.
That's right. Thank you very much for having me today, and Happy New Year to you as well.
Yeah, so Matt, it starts in April, but of course we've been hearing of load shedding in South Africa for some time now. First of all, just from your stay there, do you think people would not mind paying more if that will give them more electricity from your interaction?
Oh, yes, certainly. So I'm sure many South Africans would be very happy to pay more for power if they knew that it would result in improved electricity availability and a reduction in load shedding. When I was in South Africa over the last couple of weeks, I was quite shocked by how bad electricity shortages have become there. Every day we would have at least 6 hours of power cuts during the day and throughout the evening. So I think if these tariff hikes resulted in greater electricity availability, I'm sure there would be great enthusiasm or real acceptance of these tariff hikes. The question is whether or not this will result in an improvement.
Exactly, just what I wanted to ask you. Do you think the tariff hike will result to more electricity?
So in the short term, it's unlikely, although the tariff hike does provide welcome relief for Eskom's financial position. And this is because Eskom is looking to plug a massive fiscal or financial hole. It is very reliant on the central government for providing support to its financial position. And Eskom does face a number of financial pressures across several areas. So firstly, the cost of coal has increased very dramatically, and it is really struggling to fund the purchase of fuel to power its large fleet of coal-fired power stations. Additionally, it has a massive maintenance backlog, and this is one of the reasons why power shortages are so common in South Africa. A lot of power stations are breaking down because Eskom has not been maintaining its power stations correctly. It also has a very significant pressure to raise wages because inflation is running at about 7 or 8%. So it will probably provide a little bit of relief, but it's unlikely to result in significant improvements in performance, and this is because it actually requested a 32% increase in tariffs, and it only got about half of that. So certainly, it does need significantly larger resources to solve the electricity shortage problem.
So what do you think could be a more permanent solution to this Eskom and load shedding issue in South Africa?
So in a way, we're already halfway there in South Africa. So we do actually expect to see electricity availability improve in South Africa over the long term. And this is because the South African government in July last year introduced fairly sweeping liberalizations to the electricity generating industry. So previously there were quite significant restrictions on the role of independent or third party power producers in South Africa. And this was to protect the role of the monopoly Eskom. Now, officially, according to the law, independent power producers can produce an unlimited amount of power and sell it to consumers and businesses. This is very good, and we are expecting to see significant investments over the coming years in large-scale independent power production. However, it will take a number of years before this materializes. We would expect it to take at least 2 years before we see a meaningful difference in electricity availability in South Africa as a result of independent power production. And over the same period, we're going to see continued declines, gradual but steady declines in electricity output from Eskom. So whilst independent power production will rise, at the same time, Eskom power production will fall. So as the economy gradually reduces its dependence on Eskom, we will see an improvement, but this will take a number of years.
Well, so South Africans still have to be a bit patient, with both Eskom and the independent power suppliers. But I mean, how do you see all of this affecting, at the end of the day, the economic growth, economic activities, You know, it's a time of forecasts for different countries and the world. How do you see this affecting all of that?
Certainly. So South Africa's economic outlook is relatively muted, especially by African standards. We are forecasting growth of only about 1.7% in 2023, and we expect it to slow to about 1.4% next year in 2024. Electricity shortages are a major cause of this. So what we are seeing is South Africa's very large industrial sectors, so mining, manufacturing, construction, are in quite significant decline. And a large cause of this is electricity shortages. And this is a bit of a problem for the economy because not only are they significant contributors to overall levels of industrial activity, but also exports and employment. So a very significant source of employment, which then affects consumer spending. So electricity generation will significantly curtail electricity shortages will curtail economic growth prospects in South Africa and affect overall investor sentiment towards the market. However, we are seeing a few sectors that are doing very well despite this, especially services industries, financial services, ICT, and also a number of other industries as well. Services industries are doing very well. We're also going to see a bit of a rebound in tourism over the next year or so, which is very important. But overall, we are quite cautious in terms of the growth outlook for the market, and we are also increasingly cautious the longer we look out to the future, especially after the election in 2024, because that will generate significant uncertainty from a policy perspective. So a fairly sort of moderate outlook for the economy, one of the reasons being electricity shortages for sure.
Yeah, I would say 1.7 at Matt is really, really moderate, but we do hope it comes out of this in a short time. Thank you so much, Matt, and welcome back. Good to have you back on the show.
Thank you. Great to be back. Enjoy the rest of your day.